The most cursed rap music video in South Africa. On the 21st of December 2000, one of the biggest Kwaito singles was released onto the South African music scene. The song went on to propel the artist to greater heights, selling 350,000 copies of his album, winning multiple awards, and it became one of the most iconic songs in South Africa. One of the most important features of the song was that it somehow was able to cross racial lines in South Africa, very fresh after the overturning of apartheid. Kwaito was generally accepted as a black genre in South Africa. The song gave rise to unlikely collaborations between Mandoza and Danny Kaye, the rise of artists like Lekgowa, and racial collaborations projects like Coke Pop Stars, which birthed stars like Pam Andrews. My first crush. Guys, go follow my first crush. However, Mandoza's career would then falter, and on the 18th of September 2016, Mandoza passed away due to struggles with cancer. Mandoza was made the poster child for the country coming together after a difficult time, after being able to bridge the gap between the two big racial groups, being white and non-white. Almost 20 years later, a young kid from Mpumalanga would release a song with the exact same name. However, this song, giving him his break in the industry, would also become a mark of tragedy, as the music video will forever be on YouTube as a reminder of the fatal endings of the main artists in the music video. In 2014, Casper Nyovest hosted his annual Fresh Prince of Mofftown event. He was fast becoming known as a formidable dancer within the industry, and so decided it would be a good idea to hire dancers for his music videos and shows from there on. One of those dancers was a 24-year-old rapper and dancer by the name of Dumi Kadi. Dumi Kadi, the son of well-known and respected music executive Peter Tladi, who is credited with being one of the founders of the annual Joy of Jazz Festival, would release his first single in 2015 titled Yas. Hey, cover the shack. Cover the way that you're feeling yourself. With the song having an initial buzz and a few radio spins, Dumi made a music video for the song, but also carried on dancing. He would basically be part of the crew with Costa Titch and Phantom Steez as they came up dancing together. Tumi Tladi would release other songs, but none of them would have the same initial buzz as the first single. Throughout the rise of Costa Titch, Dumi would always be there in the background though. On the 21st of Feb, a day after the release of the Ngalagata music video that he featured in right here, he would release his single Basadi, which at first had a mild reaction online. However, the single would be rejuvenated on the 21st of October when it premiered on MTV Base with features Muesli, and on the 10th of July, Dumi would be found at his home, having passed away from an apparent self-deletion. Riky Rick has been rapping commercially since 2007 under the Blacklist Entertainment stable. His first taste of success was having a music video he produced play on all the music channels on TV, Barbershop. After having difficulties trying to come up within the music industry, Riky Rick would attend rehab for cocaine usage and depression. In 2013, having signed to Motif Records run by Stogie T, Riky Rick would release his first solo successful effort, Amantombazane, featuring Malum Kulkat. The song immediately took off online and on the television stations, and then he followed that up with one of the most legendary music videos in South Africa to date. Yo, take a pic, Riky Rick, boss my swag, boss my Mac, boss like I'm pushing a jack. Riky Rick would go on to have a very successful rap career and probably the most eventful live shows. He went on to only release one album his whole career. However, from 2018, Riky Rick would start focusing on businesses and less on music. He kept saying in interviews that he wanted to leave something for his kids, first owning companies like a franchise of Legends Barber and then starting the Cotton Fest Festival, already alluding to a future event back then. In fact, in 2020, he did a podcast with Yanga as his guest on the show, and he had this to say.
And I always said, this is my last album. Coming back to the question that you asked, I always said my first album will be my last album, because I didn't expect to make it past 25. I didn't expect to make it past 26. For me, I wanted to go out young, like Tupac. I wanted to die young, like Tupac. I wanted to die like a Kurt Cobain.
Riky Rick had a penchant for giving upcoming rappers a push online. The first rapper being Frank Casino, then Big Hash, and on the 20th of February 2020.
Okay, do me a favor. But the hip hop you feel. Banamang.
Yeah.
Banomon.
Yeah.
Vulana mesh.
Yeah.
We never die. We multiply, motherfucker.
People have always looked toward King Omar's video as a huge indication that Ricky had warned us, or at least hinted that his time was soon. On the 23rd of Feb 2022, almost 2 years exactly after the Ngalagata music video, Riky Rick was found deceased via self-inflicted deletion in his studio. He left heartfelt letters to his kid, his wife, and his fans. First single as a solo artist in 2008, Do It featuring Clue, aka was a force to be reckoned with. In fact, the song made it onto #1 on the 5FM Top 40 chart, and at the time, this was a huge achievement on its own. His first EP, 24/7/366, was leaps and bounds beyond what his peers were making at the time. He had multiple hit singles every single year since 2010's Victory Lap, and has never had a slow year or a fall within the South African music industry. During that time, he's been involved in multiple controversies, but has also been involved in multiple social issues, including Fees Must Fall. I've made a mini come-up documentary regarding both AKA and Casper in these two videos right here. You can watch either one of them, but you should definitely check them out. AKA was a lover of women. In fact, most of his controversies had to do with his relationships, whether it was with Zintle, Nicole Nyaba, or Bonang and his infidel ways. In 2019, AKA would start dating Nelly Tembe, a young woman from KZN who was the daughter of a successful businessman, Moses Tembe. The wife of Moses Tembe being Tombisizwe Zulu, daughter of former Zulu chief. The Tembes were very connected within the South African business and political industry, which is probably why Nelly was able to be in proximity with the likes of AKA. In the very early stages of the relationship, AKA would feature in a song giving rise to one of Riky Rick's proteges. The music video was a viral one, which got AKA to change up and return with some of the heaviest bars that he's given in a minute.
Schwarzenegger, Terminator, the biggest player in the game, I should have signed with Seika.
After a very tumultuous relationship with public spats and domestic disputes, AKA would lobola Nelly, thus making her his wife in 2021. Now, I don't want to get into the individual instances of AKA and Nelly's public encounters. A great video was done by The Plug regarding that. Their relationship came to an abrupt halt when Nelly was found having fallen 10 stories from the Pepper Club Hotel. The initial reports were that Nelly had committed self-deletion after a massive dispute was heard coming from their room. At the funeral, AKA, being the husband to the late Nelly, wasn't given an opportunity to speak at the funeral. However, the police minister, Bheki Cele, was given the opportunity to speak at the funeral. This being confusing since the death itself was ruled as a self-deletion. After feeling depressed for a while after the situation, AKA would meet fellow rapper Nadia Nakai and they would start dating. In fact, AKA would also start making new music again. First dropping a project with the aforementioned Prodigy, and months later making a complete smash of a song, Lemons. He would definitely allude to the current situation he was in at the time. All in my feelings, I can't conceal it, I take it all the way, I'm playing hard to get. This life is different, it's risky business. Lemons to lemonade. For me, these lines seem to confirm the suspicions of him being reckless with his life, and that his life was in danger. This song would be the last song that he would release in his lifetime. On the 10th of February 2023, almost 3 years exactly from the day of the Ngalagata music video was released. AKA would unfortunately be shot on Florida Street outside Wish Restaurant by 2 assailants. A stray bullet would unfortunately also hit a longtime friend of AKA's, Tebelo Motswana. The biggest and most relevant reason for his cold deletion being the recent request by the Tembe family for the NPA to look into the death of their daughter in order to revise the self-deletion ruling. As the main artist of the title song, Costa Titch was the last fatality of the music video to date. After having danced for Casper Nyovest for a few years, Costa started making his rise in 2017 after the release of Activate, a song which blew up in the United States after being made viral by King Vader. After a few years of struggling to find his footing, Costa would release a song which he heavily believed in, the song being Nkalagata. He would believe in the song so much, he shot 2 music videos for it and promoted the song for the better part of a year in 2018 and through 2019. On the 28th of October 2019 though, Riky Rick would post this video on his Instagram.
Okay, let's do it like this. When they say they making money, they really talking that cash. Niggas say they ballin', they wrestling with the fat.
On the 20th of Feb, Costa would release the music video for Nkalagata online, and it immediately would make him the biggest star of the year. I don't want to go too much into Costa's come up as I did all of that in this video right here. Costa would go from strength to strength, releasing yet another hot single, Aring, featuring Riky Rick and Maporis, and a massive single, Big Flexer, which actually got him recognized by Akon. He ended up even signing to Akon, which would see Akon featuring in the remix of Big Flexer. This seemed like an opening foray into the international market. However, on the 11th of March, literally 1 month after the passing of AKA and 3 years after the Nkalagata music video, Costa would collapse twice during his performance at Ultra Music Festival. A few hours later, Titch would be pronounced deceased at the hospital. As of the moment, we're still unsure as to why or what the reason for his death was. Now, if I was a sensationalist, hint hint, nudge nudge, I would be very wary about artists having issues with Casper Nyovest. DJ Somebody apparently sued Casper Nyovest over unpaid royalties. AKA had a career-long beef with Casper. Riky Rick, seemingly out of the blue, ended his relationship with Casper Nyovest, and Costa Titch was quote-unquote bullied by Casper for a little while. In fact, I made a whole video about the Casper and Costa Titch situation, and it should be showing up on your screen right now. You definitely don't want to miss the intricacies of that beef.